Hello everyone, I am Dua, a consultant clinical psychologist, and today we'll be talking about emotional detachment. When most people hear emotional detachment, they imagine being cold, distant, numb, or uncaring. But healthy detachment is not emotional shutdown. Healthy detachment means you still feel, you still care, you still love, but your emotions no longer control your decisions, your self-worth, or your peace of mind. So this video is not about becoming indifferent, suppressing emotions, or cutting people off harshly. It's about learning how to stay emotionally connected without being emotionally consumed. And that skill is essential if you want inner stability, healthy relationships, less anxiety and overthinking, and more self-respect. So, um, if you guys haven't subscribed my channel, first just go and subscribe to that my channel and comment me below and like the like the video. So, why people struggle to detach? If detaching feels hard, it's not because you are weak. It's because you are deeply care about other people. You attach meaning quickly. You were conditioned to earn love, or you learn that closeness equals safety. Many people confuse attachment with love. Attachment says, I need you to feel okay. And love says, I choose you, but I can survive without you. Okay? So, and there is a tip that I'll always give you is the more you think about that person, the more you see their pictures, the more they keep on looking about them and everything and social media and all, the more you keep on loving them. Okay? And the more he or she is on your mind, it means that you keep on loving them. And love has boundaries as well, and even if he or she is doing anything, and you should respect it. Respect is the foremost element. So when emotional attachment becomes intense, it often shows up as overthinking text and tone, mood depending on someone else's behavior, fear of losing people, and difficulty setting boundaries. So this isn't a character flaw, it's a nervous system pattern. Detachment versus avoidance. Let's make an important distinction. Avoidance is shutting down emotionally, pretending not to care, cutting off vulnerability, and using distance to avoid pain. Whereas healthy detachment is feeling emotions without drowning in them, staying present without self abandonment, and letting others be who they are, and keeping your identity intact. Coldness is armor, and attachment is grounding. So one disconnects you from people, and the other connects you back to yourself. So the core principle is separating self-worth from outcomes. Here is the foundation of emotional detachment. Your worth is not determined by how others treat you. So when you emotionally attach too strongly, you unknowingly outsource your self-esteem, your mood, your sense of safety to another person. And healthy attachment means learning to say, I value this connection, but I don't disappear inside it, and I can care without chasing, and I can love without losing myself. So this doesn't make you distant, it makes you emotionally sovereign. And I want to share some practical skills for you to observe, to do. So skill number one is observe and don't merge. Okay, instead of becoming, your emotions. Okay, you observe them. For example, instead of I am anxious because they didn't reply, try I notice anxiety showing up right now. In this subtle shift reduces emotional intensity, activates rational awareness, and creates internal space. You are not denying feelings, you are not letting them run the system. Attachment is not disconnection, it's non fusion. Okay? And don't love someone too much. Okay? There's always a limit for something. Okay? Then don't go beyond that. So that if wherever you do, he or she knows that they can't breach this thing, and wherever they do, don't do these things. Even for couples, I say don't check each other's phones and don't check these things because that's not good at all. Okay, no matter if you guys are in a relationship, if he is your husband, your wife, or they also have their own personal space. Okay, there can be anything that is all right, there is nothing wrong in that, but you might feel wrong. Okay, and that won't be an issue. Okay, so see, wherever the glasses you wear, you see the world from that color. So at times there are always two sides of the stories, and at times our misunderstandings can step out of these things because there is mistrust, or always a thing that whenever there is a third person and you are trusting them, they can manipulate one person very easily, and then they can create misunderstandings between two people. And that person can be very good person, very humble, very nice, and the perfect match for you. But a person who is jealous can create a lot of, you know, hurdles for you, can create a lot of issues for you, and by the end you'd feel like, oh, escape is the only option. And now I think that if for instance, if your relationship is at a very early stage, and this person is very genuine for you, but the third person is creating misunderstanding between you, so you both can fall apart. But again, later on, after a year or so, you would realize that no, this person was wrong. So always think very rationally, okay, very calmly. There are a lot of people who can ruin your life very easily. Please don't trust them. Trust yourself and trust the person who you love. Okay? And trust is very important. And respect and care is the foremost element. If a person shows respect and care towards you, it means that he is truly yours. So now, moving towards skill number 2, that is stop filling in the gaps. So, emotionally attached minds tend to assume, interpret, personalize, and catastrophize. Silence becomes rejection, and distance becomes abandonment. Healthy detachment means learning to say, I don't actually know what this means, and allowing ambiguity, uncertainty, incomplete information without self blame. Most emotional suffering doesn't come from reality, it comes from stories we tell ourselves. Okay? And then emotional boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls, they are filters. Detachment grows when you stop over explaining, over giving, over investing before trust is built. And ask yourself, am I giving from fullness or fear? Am I responding or reacting? Am I choosing or chasing? You can be kind without being available to everything. Okay? So, why detachment actually deepens connection? So, when you stop clinging, you communicate more clearly. You tolerate differences better, and you attract healthier dynamics. People feel safer around someone who is emotionally present but not emotionally dependent. Coldness pushes people away, and grounded detachment draws them closer. And when you are emotionally dependent on someone, then the other person can take advantage of yourself very, very easily. So always be very mindful, always be very be very vigilant when you know like what's happening around and everything. So don't be too dependent on someone. Okay, when you feel like dependency is occurring, just keep yourself busy in other things, in your work and whatever you do, like your hobbies or anything. Okay, so you know that you have your own life. Okay, and always make a schedule and try to follow that, so that you know, like, okay, things are going in this way, I have to follow this thing, things like this. Now, letting go without hardening. Now, detachment becomes cold only when pain is avoided instead of processed. And emotions are judged instead of accepted. Like vulnerability is shamed. And true detachment allows sadness, allows grief, allows disappointment. But it doesn't let those emotions define your identity. You can feel deeply and still stay stable. We have to normalize one thing. A lot of people who would say, like, if someone is very kind, so they are not good, or they are a weak person, or if one is going through a tough phase of his or her life, so it means like, no, oh, their coping mechanism is not good. No, 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 no. Strong person isn't that person who is very who doesn't listen to the other person, who doesn't care about others things, who is not even, if there are a lot of people who don't care about what's happening in someone's life and they are highly mean. It doesn't mean that you are a strong person. No. If you care about others, if you are very kind, very gentle, a lot of things, then you are the strongest person. Okay, if you're helping other people, it means that you are the strongest person. So this is the true definition of being a strong person. Because if you have seen hardships, struggles, it means that that will make you really kind, because you know that if you have gone through something, you don't want any other person to go through all of these things. Okay, you'll make their pathway very easy, or you will at least help them. So please, if you see anyone around who is struggling or going through any tough phase of their life, please help them and choose your words very wisely. Okay, because your words matters a lot. So now, the balance state. Emotional detachment is not about caring less. Okay, it's about caring wisely, loving without losing yourself, being open without being unprotected. You don't need to shut down to feel safe. You don't need to harden to be strong. The goal is soft heart, steady mind, and strong boundaries. And boundaries doesn't mean to be disrespectful. You should have to show your respect towards the other person. You should know, like, always use very kind words. Okay, while communicating with anyone around. Okay, and that balance is what real emotion freedom looks like. Okay, so that was a brief video today. So I'll make it more videos for you. You guys can like know like what you want to see. I'll make more videos. If you like today's video, like the video, comment me below down and subscribe the channel and share with your friends. See you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye.